What I'm doing now is beyond my ancestors' wildest dreams. To you, I'm standing on top of a building trying to gaze beyond this never-ending ocean. It's peaceful here. But wherever there's peace, there once was a disturbance. The harsh reality is, some of my ancestors walked out that door to never return. And some may have died here, here, and here. I am standing on top of what once was a slave castle. To them, for them, what I'm doing now is living their dream. Freedom.
Boom! We are here. We are Kakum National Park. It's hot. Going for traditional colours. Come on, Ghana representing Kakum National Park. Here we come. It's a Ghana heritage site, of course. Looking forward to it. Come on.
Kakum is located in the coastal environs of the central region. Kakum is famous for its canopy walkway.
See that? That's the jungle. Whoa, 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 that's the jungle right there, boy. That's what we're gonna head into. Right there. A bit nervous. I hate hikes. There we go.
Kakum, the name Kakum, in Akan, we say that Kakum Yajinukwekunu. That means that if you hear Kakum, you hear it from the monkey. So actually the Kakum sound, the Kakum was gotten from the sound of a monkey. Typically the Muna monkey. So they sound the Kakum sound. That's where we got the Kakum sound. But the Kakum itself is also a river that takes its from the forest. So the Kakum is the name of the river, hence the forest that's the river flows from. So the whole park is called the Kakum National Park or Kakum Conservation Area. It was established down from the way 1925 as a forest reserve. And those times, you know, we were under colonial rule. So there were timber lodging and some huntings in the forest at that time, which continued even after independence of Ghana till 1986, when the local people, in collaboration with some government organizations and some NGOs, came together to convert the forest into an ecotourism center, so that all the lodging operations, all the hunting will cease in the forest. So with that doing, they sought to have some infrastructure in the forest that will allow people to visit the forest always, because there were animals and plants which were in the forest and they were going extinct. And we have the canopy walkway, which was built in the year 1994 by 2 Canadians, then also 6 Ghanaians. And after that, left it over to the Ghanaians to do maintenance work always. So we have 8 bridges in all.
Madness. Yeah, it's a bit wobbly still, very wobbly. Scary times, scary times. Clinging on for dear life here, clinging on for dear life. Here you go, views. Views, views, views for days, views for days, views for days. Stunning, absolutely stunning, absolutely here. Some views from here, scary boy. If you're not built for this, it's scary still. It's like we're hanging onto a thread. It's wobbly. It's an experience still. An experience. Holding on to my phone and my life. And here. Bit shaky, it's wobbly, moves from side to side. was alright, you know.
Yeah,
Quite, it's short.
did
It's
you
short.
take 7?
I took all of them.
Oh, did you take 7 or 3?
You took all of them.
Which one is the longer or the
We took the long one. Yeah. We took the long one.
everyone took the longer one.
Scary still.
It's scary. Really, is it?
Yeah, I was trying to style it out, taking pictures like this to make myself look cool, but I was deep down, I was shitting my pants. Especially when you're holding a phone and you're holding one wrong move.
It's like a rope bridge, right?
Yeah, just like that. And then my phone is shaky, and I'm like, whoa, you drop, it's game over. The bears will eat it. But we made it. Proud of myself.
You're doing well.
Yeah, I'm
Considering
gonna
you went out last night, you're doing
telling
alright.
you.
We make our way to Cape Coast Slave Castle. This is the castle. Hundreds and thousands of slaves were taken to this castle to be sold to slave ships.
And this is Cape Coast Slave Castle. This very one was built by the English in 1665. Date-wise, Cape Coast Castle is the youngest castle. This castle is 356 years old. Elmina Castle is the oldest and the largest castle. Elmina Castle is 539 years old. But during the time of the transatlantic slave trade, our ancestors in Africa didn't have the kind of geopolitical boundaries that we have today. They didn't have the present-day Ghana, Mali, Burkina Faso, Nigeria. No, they had what you call the African empires, kingdoms, chiefdoms, and states. And they were not united due to the fact that they didn't have a common constitution who ruled over them, and they didn't have the same leaders. Because of that, there was no common unity. And long before the Europeans arrived here, our ancestors were practicing what we call domestic servitude. There's a difference between domestic servitude and slavery. Our ancestors were not keeping their brothers and sisters in dungeons. Neither were they changing their names. They were not taking them outside the continent. But when the Europeans arrived, they capitalized on the systems in Africa and supplied into the continent two destructive weapons. These are gun and gunpowder. They gave them to the local chiefs. These were the devices or the weapons that provoked the tribal wars in Africa.
The dungeons were split up into male and female dungeons.
Okay, so this is the male dungeon, and the male dungeon comprises of 5 cells. The first cell, 3 and the second cell. There's a third, fourth, and 50 cell. In each one of them were 200 men. 200 there, 200 here, 200. So that means there were 1,000 men in the male dungeon. That was the only source of light on earth for 200 men here. There was a big door here, so 200 African men. But in the year 1974, a group of archaeologists came here. They went to the first chamber. They took their time. They excavated the floor of the first chamber. After the excavation, the floor was taken to Accra for further examination to be initiated. After the examination was initiated, the archaeologists were fully convinced that this floor contains traces of human waste and food remains. What I'm trying to tell everyone here is that this is the evidence of the presence of millions of Africans who have been in the Milton dungeon.
Some challenged slavery and some fought against it whilst they were imprisoned. However, there was serious punishment involved.
Due to the fact that the African men in the male dungeon fought back for their freedom, many of them killed some of the English soldiers. Because of that, the English slavers designed this small cell. We call this cell the male punishment cell, but I personally call this cell the grave of the castle. This cell has no windows. All the African men in the male dungeon who fought back were brought in this small cell to be killed. There were 3 doors here. The first door, there was a second door, and a third door. All the men who fought back were brought here. No food for them, no light, no air, no water, until they all died. There are no windows in this cell. That is why I personally call this cell the grave of the castle. And this door is over 250 years. This door is over 250 years. This is one of the original doors here in the castle. I'm going to take you inside the male punishment cell. I'm going to put the light out. I'm going to close the door for you to feel the place. So this is how this place looks like.
Whilst the lights were switched off, in that moment, it was terrifying to imagine the reality of what took place in these suffocating spaces. The cell had little ventilation and light. It was dark and it was harrowing.
This is a very small cell. We call this cell the female punishment cell. We have already seen the male punishment cell. Back in the male punishment cell, we didn't see windows because that cell was a death sentence. The door of no return, closer to the door of no return are 2 dungeons. These are the female slave dungeons. In each one of them were 250. That was the maximum number. The minimum number was 150. Some of the African women in the female dungeons got raped. The English slaves raped them. However, some of the African women in the female dungeons resisted, they fought back. All the freedom fighters in the female dungeons were brought in this small cell to be punished. There was a door here to lock them out. There could be 5, 8, 9 women at a time, or more at a time. This is where the women would menstruate, defecate, eat, sleep. They had rashes on their bodies. They had diarrhea, cancer, yellow fever. This is where food and water was given to them, but they gave them little food and water to punish them. The women were here for not less than 10 days. After that, they'll bring them back to the female dungeons. So some of the English soldiers will come through that door. They'll take some of the women out there, they'll clean them. Because the women were very dirty, they'll clean them and rape them. But because of that, many women got pregnant in the female dungeons. All the African women who were pregnant were taken outside the castle to give birth. But they only gave birth to mulattoes and mulatresses or biracial children. Have you heard of names like Johnson, Wilson, Peterson, Johnson? Yeah, those names were given to the biracial children.
For those who survived these horrific conditions, their story didn't end there. This door wasn't the gateway or passage to freedom. This door was the door of no return.
That part of the castle was the tunnel system. You know, I made mention of 1,000 men in a male dungeon. The African men in the male dungeon were not allowed through the courtyard to the door of no return. No, they chained them in a male dungeon and forced them through the tunnel system to the door we call the door of no return. Now we call that door the door of no return because that was the final exit of all the Africans in a male dungeon and a female slave dungeon. The door of no return was at a point where a new journey emerged, and an end of an experience was totally disconnected from the Africans.
The abolishment of slavery. What happened to the slaves after slavery was abolished? They were still doing it. So it was still
Even after the tunnel was sealed up, they were still doing it. They didn't want to leave, even after the tunnel. You know, I made mention of the fact that the tunnel was sealed up. The reason why the tunnel got sealed up was because the abolishment took effect here in 1833.
Right.
The abolishment first took place in England in 1807.
Wow.
1807. But it took effect here in 1833. Even after 1833, they were still doing it,
Yes.
which was illegal.
Illicitly.
Yes, there was a governor we call Captain George Maclean.
Yeah.
He was the governor of the castle. He's from Scotland. He's British also though. He sealed off the tunnel in 1834 to mark the abolishment.
Wow.
There are many books that claim that even after the tunnel was
How do you feel? How do you feel when you do this?
my first 6 months I really struggled because narrating what happiness now is. It's like we are giving out
Yes.
a lot of energy. It's not that easy.
What was the most shocking piece of information or fact that you recently discovered?
My recent one was the fact that we all thought that the Africans were selling their bread. So
That's what I thought.
Yes, that is what we all thought. Because
Right.
The school, the books that they gave us to read back in schools, those were the things in the books the Europeans came and we sold our own people to them.
That's right.
From looking at the history from the Afrocentric perspective,
Right.
I later realized that no, we didn't actually sell our own people, but the Europeans obtained them. That's the right word.
That's right.
You know, because if you talk about trading, buying, both parties have to benefit equally.
Equally, yeah.
Both parties have to benefit equally. Now, if I need your glasses or your phones from you, you quote me a price, $20. I'll give you the money. You give me your glasses. That is trading, buying. We both agree
That's
on
right.
the $20.
That's right.
But if I come to you and tell you that I have your father, your relative somewhere, and if you don't give me the phones, I'm going to hurt that person. What do you think?
You haven't even got a choice.
Do you understand?
I understand.
Yes. So this massacre, genocide, manipulation, I learned that. Recently, it's massacre, genocide, manipulation, transportation of African people. There was no trade. You don't call it a trade where millions of people have to die. In what senses did the Africans benefit? Schools and churches, in the language, the English language? It doesn't make sense.
As the waves roll in, a wave of emotions ensue. How do I feel? Sad, guilty, lucky, fortunate? It's a bag of mixed emotions right now. I couldn't tell you.
Right now, where are we right now as we speak?
We are Lemon Beach Resort.
Lemon Beach Resort. Where's that? Where's it based?
Elmina. Elmina town is one of the best resorts you can ever have in Ghana.
Really?
The
I know.
view, yeah.
I'm going to circulate around.
And the pool.
And the pool.
It's amazing.
I just come
I have clients who have stayed here. They love the experience.
Oh, that's it. That's it. That's it.
This is my friend Misha. She's half Jamaican, half Cuban. This is her first time eating Banku.
Take it out there.
Banku is a fermented mixture of corn dough and cassava dough made into dumplings to be served with Shito.
So what you do, you pinch the Banku,
Yeah.
you put it in. You dip it in the sauce. Don't be scared of it, pinch a bit more.
Wait, this is the first time. Allow me.
Honestly, go on then, and put it in your mouth. Yeah. What did I say about the spice? That's why you need to pinch more.
Yeah.
You pinch more Banku. You dip it into the sauce. Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's it. How do you think? What do you think about it?
It tastes alright.
Yeah.
Banku doesn't have a taste.
It doesn't have a taste. It's sour, isn't it?
Sour. It's very salty.
Very tangy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very tangy. Very
But I
tangy.
like it.
You like it, yeah?
I can fuck with it.
That's it. That's it. But that's how you eat essentially. And then every now and again, if you want to pinch the fish with the Banku and the pepper, that's how it works.
Hey, this food is gonna do me for the rest of the day.
It's gonna finish you off. Trust me. The Banku is not to my liking. It's very too soft. I want it firmer, but it will do. Really?
They said, eat.
How was it? How was your first? She's caked. She is finished. She's out the game, ladies and gents. She is fully Ghanaian. Look at
It
her.
was good.
Look at that. Listen. That's a very good attempt on her first ever encounter with Banku. You like it?
I love it.
Heavy, innit?
Yeah, again.
Heavy duty.
Yes. Like, I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna sleep.
Oh man. What was your biggest lesson that you learned from this slave castle trip then? Anything that came to you that sort of resonates with you, or that struck a chord, that hit a nerve?
The female dungeon.
Yeah.
Because I know as women what we go through. The fact that they just crammed us all in there. No matter what we was going through, regardless of we defecated on there, we menstruated in there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed, there was a smell.
Yeah.
As soon as you go in.
Yeah.
And I assume that's just the staining on the stone.
Yeah.
That makes it stink.
That's right.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
It is a lot. I mean, that was a shock to me as well.
Yeah.
I forgot about how women were treated and how they were part of the whole slave trade as well. And
we go through a lot as a year. And then having to be put in one place with multiple people.
Right.
Going through whatever shit we got.
It's too much.
I think the thing that really made me very attracted to this place was knowing that this is where my people came from.
That's right.
In the United States. And to come back through, he's going to experience this when he goes to Cape Coast.
Cape Coast, yeah.
To come back through the door of no return triumphantly.
Yeah.
I think is the thing that for me has cemented my connection to Ghana.
How did that make you feel? What was the feeling like when you went there? I know it's a sobering experience.
It was incredibly empowering. Why? Because to go from the slave dungeons through the Middle Passage, through the slave auction block, 400 years of forced labor, to who all we have become. We're a strong people.
Yeah.
And we're strong from our roots. And this is our roots. And so that for me has been, I think, again, the most anchoring in terms of my connection.
Right.
You know, learning about the culture and the language and the traditions and the customs and all that. That's all fantastic.
Right.
You know, Ghana is very hospitable in that way.
That's right.
But in terms of my own personal connection, it came through the Cape Coast experience.
Wow.
What an incredible journey. I have walked the streets of Ghana. I have met some incredible people.
Ask him, is your belly ready?
And then you pop.
Right.
Welcome to Kumasi Aquaba. Out here in the Kumasi, the hotspot of the Ashanti region.
I can't live in, my brother. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
It's crazy, yeah.
You plan 3 months in advance.
Wow.
Our parents were saving towards it. We have to book the tailor 2 months. And what besides the tailor?
Seen some incredible places. Eating some delicious food. This in turn has taught me a lot about where I'm from. And I'm from Ghana. Until next time.